I'm a pharmacist. I've spent 40 years measuring doses, reading labels, knowing exactly how much of something can heal you and how much can kill you. I learned early that precision matters. 1 milligram too much, one contraindication overlooked, and lives change forever. That skill served me well in my career. Built a chain of independent pharmacies across Ontario, 3 locations that became fixtures in their communities. People trusted me with their health, their secrets whispered across the counter, their fears about diagnoses and side effects. But I never thought I'd need to apply that same precision to my family. Never thought I'd have to measure out exactly how much I could tolerate before the dose became toxic. My name is Robert Chen. I'm 62 years old, and this is the story of how I learned that sometimes cutting off the poison is the only way to survive. I met Catherine when I was 28, fresh out of pharmacy school, working 16-hour days to pay off student loans. She was a nurse at the hospital where I did rotations. Beautiful, competent, kind to patients. We married within a year. Our daughter Jessica came 2 years later, followed by our son Tyler 3 years after that. For 33 years, I thought we had built something solid. A nice home in Oakville. The pharmacy's doing well enough that Catherine could retire early. Jessica married Aaron, a real estate agent who always wore suits that cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Tyler was finishing his MBA at Western, or so I thought. I gave them everything. Paid for both weddings, the down payment on Jessica and Aaron's house in Mississauga, Tyler's tuition and living expenses. When Aaron wanted to start his own real estate firm, I co-signed the loan for $200,000. When Jessica wanted to become a wellness influencer, I bought her the equipment, paid for the courses, supported her while she built her following. Catherine encouraged all of it. They're our children, Robert. This is what parents do. You make good money. What else are we saving it for? I should have seen the signs earlier. The way Jessica would call only when she needed something. The way Aaron's business never quite took off, but he always had a new Rolex. The way Tyler kept extending his degree, adding certificates and programs, always one more semester away from graduation. But I was busy. The pharmacies demanded attention. Regulatory changes, staffing issues, the constant pressure from big chains trying to squeeze out independence. I worked 6 days a week, often staying late to do inventory or counsel patients who needed extra time. And then came the cruise. Jessica announced it in our family group chat. Aaron and I are renewing our vows. 5-year anniversary. We're doing a Caribbean cruise, 2 weeks, and we want everyone there. It's going to be amazing. Catherine was immediately enthusiastic. Oh, honey, that's wonderful. When? March 15th. I know it's only 2 months away, but we found this incredible deal. The whole family, all expenses paid. I texted back. That's generous of you both. Let me check the pharmacy schedule. Jessica's response came fast. Dad, we're not paying. Obviously you are. It's like $20,000 for everyone, but you can afford it. I stared at my phone. $20,000 for a cruise I hadn't agreed to, on dates I hadn't cleared, presented as if my payment was assumed. I called Jessica. Sweetheart, that's a lot of money on short notice, and I can't leave the pharmacies for 2 weeks in March. That's flu season. We're swamped. Dad. Her voice had that edge I'd heard more often lately. Aaron and I are renewing our vows. This is important to us. You're always using work as an excuse. Just hire more staff. It's not that simple. You know what? Forget it. I'll tell Mom you don't think our marriage is worth celebrating. She hung up. Catherine brought it up that night. Robert, you have to go. Jessica is so hurt. She's hurt that I won't immediately spend $20,000 on a cruise I didn't plan for? Don't be dramatic. You spend more than that on pharmacy equipment all the time. This is family. Over the next week, the pressure increased. Tyler called, disappointed I was ditching his sister. Aaron sent a long text about how families should support each other's milestones. Jessica posted on Instagram about how some people value money over relationships. I caved. I always did. Booked the cruise, paid the deposit, cleared my schedule. That was January. In February, Tyler called with an emergency. His roommate had bailed. He needed $6,000 for rent, or he'd be evicted. I sent the money. 2 weeks later, he needed another $3,000 for a required course. I sent that too. Jessica wanted a new camera for her influencer work. $4,000. Dad, this is an investment. I'm so close to getting sponsored. Aaron's real estate firm needed an influx of cash. Just $15,000. Robert, temporary. There's a big commission coming through next month. Catherine needed a new car. The Lexus is 5 years old, Robert. I deserve something nice. I felt like I was hemorrhaging money, but Catherine kept saying it was fine. You're doing well. The pharmacies are profitable. Stop being so cheap. Then came March 8th, 1 week before the cruise. I was at the main pharmacy, the Oakville location. doing a medication review for an elderly patient with multiple prescriptions. My chest felt tight, a pressure I'd been ignoring for days. Probably stress. I'd felt this before during busy seasons. But then my left arm went numb. The room tilted. I grabbed the counter, tried to call for my assistant, but the words wouldn't come out right. The last thing I remember was my assistant Maria's face, terrified, shouting for someone to call 911. I woke up in the ICU at Oakville Trafalgar Memorial. A doctor I didn't recognize was checking monitors. "Mr. Chen, you've had a serious stroke. Ischemic, left hemisphere. We administered TPA, but you'll need to stay here for monitoring. Do you understand?" I tried to nod. My right side wasn't responding properly. "We've contacted your wife. She's on her way." Relief flooded through me. Catherine would come. She'd be here. The doctor left. I drifted in and out of consciousness. When I woke again, it was dark outside. A nurse was adjusting my IV. "Where's my wife?" My words were slurred but understandable. The nurse's expression shifted. Uncomfortable. "Mr. Chen," she called. She said she'd come tomorrow. She was busy with something tonight. Tomorrow. I'd had a stroke. I was in the ICU, and she'd come tomorrow. "My children? Your daughter said she'd try to visit this week. Your son? I don't think he called back. This week. Try to visit." I closed my eyes. The next day, Catherine did come, but only for an hour. She looked annoyed. "Robert, why didn't you tell me you weren't feeling well?" I stared at her. I'd mentioned the chest pain 3 times in the last month. She told me to take Tylenol. "The cruise," she said. "We're supposed to leave in 5 days. What are we going to do?" "I'm in the hospital, Catherine." "I know, but you're stable now, right? The doctor said you're out of immediate danger. So we could still go. Maria can manage the pharmacy. You're always saying she's competent." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I've had a stroke, and you're recovering. The cruise is non-refundable, Robert. $20,000. Jessica will be devastated if we cancel. This is her special day. I could have died, but you didn't. You're fine. You're talking and everything." She checked her phone. "I have to go. Jessica and I are finalizing the cruise wardrobe. I'll come back tomorrow." She didn't come back tomorrow, or the next day. On March 13th, 2 days before the cruise departure, I was moved to a regular room. My speech had improved, though my right hand still wasn't working properly. I'd need months of physical therapy. I called Catherine. She answered on the 4th ring. Music and voices loud in the background. "Robert, hold on, it's so loud here." The noise muffled. "Okay, what is it?" "I wanted to hear your voice. See how you are. We're at Jessica's, doing final packing for the cruise. It's chaos here. Everyone's so excited." "The cruise is still happening?" "Of course it's still happening. We paid for it." "Robert, you're being selfish. This isn't about you. This is Jessica's renewal of vows. I'm in the hospital. You're getting excellent care. You don't need me sitting there staring at you. Look, I have to go. Aaron just arrived with the luggage tags. I'll call you from the ship, okay?" She hung up. I sat there, phone in my left hand, my right hand useless in my lap, and something fundamental shifted inside me. That night, Tyler video called. I could see he was already on the ship, Caribbean sunset behind him. "Hey, Dad. Sorry about the stroke thing. But hey, you're tough. You'll be fine. Just wanted to say thanks for the cruise. This ship is incredible." "Tyler, I'm still in the hospital." "Yeah," Mom said. "But you're stable, so that's good. Oh, hey, can you send me some spending money? The excursions aren't included, and there's this amazing diving thing in Cozumel." "You want me to send you money while I'm in the hospital recovering from a stroke? I mean, if it's a problem, forget it. I just thought since you're just lying there anyway, you could do a quick transfer. It's only $800. I hung up. For 3 days, I was alone in that hospital room. Maria visited, bringing flowers and a card signed by the pharmacy staff. My accountant visited, bringing papers I needed to sign. A few regular customers came by, people I'd counseled for years, bringing well wishes. My family posted photos from the cruise. Catherine in an evening gown at the captain's dinner. Jessica and Aaron renewing their vows on the upper deck, sunset behind them. Tyler parasailing, his face bright with joy. Number blessed, number family first, number gratitude. On the 4th day, my doctor came in with the neurologist. "Mr. Chen, you're recovering remarkably well. The physical therapy is showing good progress. But I need to ask, is everything okay at home? Your family hasn't been here. They're on a cruise." The doctors exchanged glances. "A cruise? While you're recovering from a stroke? It was non-refundable." More glances. "Mr. Chen, do you have someone to help you when you're discharged? You'll need assistance for several weeks." I didn't answer. That night, I made a decision. The same kind of decision I made in the pharmacy when a medication was causing more harm than good. Sometimes you have to stop the poison. I called my lawyer from the hospital bed. Gerald had handled my business affairs for 20 years. Robert, my God. I heard about the stroke. Are you all right? I need you to do something for me, Gerald. Several things, actually. And I need them done quietly. Over the next week, while my family enjoyed their Caribbean cruise, I put my affairs in order. First, the financials. I had Gerald establish a new numbered company. All my assets, the pharmacies, my investment accounts, everything, transferred into it. My name remained on paper as the owner, but the access was locked down tight. Second, the credit cards. I called every company, reported the cards as potentially compromised, requested new numbers. The old cards? Canceled. Third, the investigation. I hired a forensic accountant and a private investigator. I need to know exactly where my money has gone for the last 5 years. Every transaction, every transfer, everything. The PI, a former police detective named Sarah, got back to me in 3 days. Mr. Chen, you're going to want to sit down for this. Aaron's real estate firm was a shell company. No actual business, no clients, no properties. The $200,000 loan I'd co-signed, he'd withdrawn it in cash over 6 months. The PI had photos of him at Casino Niagara, at poker rooms in downtown Toronto. Tyler hadn't been in school for 2 years. He dropped out of his MBA program but kept accepting tuition money. The $6,000 for rent? His apartment cost $1,800. The required course? Didn't exist. Jessica's influencer career? She had 4,000 followers. Most of them bought bots. No sponsors, no income. The camera I'd bought her sold on Kijiji 2 weeks later. And Catherine, my wife of 33 years. She had a separate bank account I didn't know about. Over the last decade, she'd been diverting money from our joint account. Not huge amounts, enough that I'd never noticed. It had grown to nearly $300,000. But that wasn't the worst part. There's more, Sarah said. Your wife has been in contact with a divorce lawyer for 6 months. She was planning to file after the cruise. There are emails discussing asset division, claiming you were financially controlling and emotionally distant. I sat in that hospital room, discharge papers on the table, and I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. Just a cold, clinical clarity. They thought I was the problem. They thought I was an ATM who occasionally got emotional about being used. I was a pharmacist. I knew exactly how to compound a cure. The family came home from the cruise on March 22nd. I'd been discharged 3 days earlier, gone to a recovery hotel instead of home. Private room, nursing staff on call, excellent physical therapy program. Catherine called when they landed. Robert, we're back. Are you still in the hospital? No, I'm discharged. Oh, good. We'll come pick you up. Where are you? I'm fine where I am. Catherine, we need to talk. Of course, we'll talk when we get you home. I have so much to tell you about the cruise. Jessica's vow renewal was beautiful. You would have loved it. I want a divorce. Silence. What? I want a divorce. I've had my lawyer draw up the papers. You'll be served tomorrow. Robert, you're not thinking clearly. The stroke affected your brain. My brain is fine. The neurologist confirmed it. I'm thinking more clearly than I have in years. You can't be serious. Because we went on a cruise? You said we could go. I said you could go. You chose a vacation over your husband's stroke. That told me everything I needed to know. You're being ridiculous. I'm coming to get you right now. Which hospital? I'm not at a hospital. And you're not coming to get me. Check your credit cards, Catherine. I hung up. Within an hour, my phone exploded. Texts, calls, voicemails. From Catherine. The cards aren't working. There must be a mistake. Call the bank. From Jessica. Dad. My card was declined at the grocery store. This is so embarrassing. Fix it, please. From Aaron. Robert, there seems to be an issue with the line of credit. Can you call me? From Tyler. Hey, Dad. My rent check bounced. What's going on? I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I had Gerald send a group email. Dear family, effective immediately, all financial support has ended. Credit cards have been canceled. Access to joint accounts has been revoked. The line of credit has been closed. This is not a punishment. This is a boundary. I had a stroke on March 8th. I spent 9 days in the hospital. During that time, Catherine visited once for an hour. Jessica and Tyler did not visit at all. You all chose to go on a cruise instead. That choice showed me clearly where I rank in your priorities. Below a vacation, below a party, below Instagram photos. I have supported this family financially for over 3 decades. I have given you everything you asked for, and many things you didn't. In return, I expected basic human decency. I expected that if I was seriously ill, my family would be there. You failed that very low bar. So now, you are all adults. You will support yourselves as adults do. Catherine, divorce papers will be served tomorrow. I am claiming financial misconduct based on the secret account you've been building. My lawyer has documentation. Jessica and Aaron, the loan I co-signed for your business is due. I expect payment in full within 30 days, or I will pursue legal action for fraud. Tyler, your tuition payments have ended. If you wish to continue your education, I suggest you actually enroll in classes this time. Do not contact me. Do not come to my residence. Any communication will go through my lawyer. Robert, I sent it at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. By 8:30, they were at the hotel. Security called my room. Mr. Chen, there are 4 people in the lobby demanding to see you. They say they're family. They're not family anymore. Please ask them to leave. They're causing a scene, sir. Call the police if necessary. I have a restraining order being filed tomorrow. They are not to contact me. I heard Catherine's voice in the background, shrill, demanding. Jessica crying. Aaron's aggressive tone. Mr. Chen, I'll handle this. Security escorted them out. They waited in the parking lot until midnight, when police finally moved them along for trespassing. The emails started coming. Catherine's was long, accusing me of elder abuse, of being cruel, of having a mental breakdown from the stroke. Jessica's was desperate. She was pregnant. She needed support. How could I do this to my grandchild? That one almost broke me. Almost, but then I remembered. She'd known she was pregnant on the cruise. She'd posted about it on Instagram, holding a champagne glass of juice. Baby on board. Can't wait to tell Grandpa. She'd known she was pregnant and still hadn't come to the hospital. Aaron's email was threatening. I'd ruined his reputation, destroyed his credit. He'd sue me for defamation. Please do, I wrote back through Gerald. Discovery will be very interesting. Tyler didn't email. Tyler showed up at the pharmacy. Maria called me, voice shaking. Mr. Chen, your son is here. He's demanding money. He says you've cut him off and he owes people, bad people. He's scaring the customers. Call the police, Maria. Tell them there's a man harassing staff and customers. Don't say he's my son. Just have him removed. Are you sure? I'm sure. Tyler was arrested for causing a disturbance. He spent one night in jail. Catherine bailed him out, using money from her secret account. That made me smile. At least that money was going to her actual child now, not just stockpiling for her post-divorce life. Over the next month, the pieces fell into place. The forensic accountant's report showed I'd given my family over $1.2 million in the last 5 years. Not loans, gifts, support. Money I'd worked 60-hour weeks to earn, spent on people who couldn't be bothered to visit me in the hospital. The divorce proceedings were ugly. Catherine's lawyer tried to paint me as controlling, abusive, mentally unstable from the stroke. My lawyer presented the evidence, her secret account, her pre-planned divorce, her choice to abandon her husband during a medical emergency. The judge was a woman in her 60s. She looked at Catherine with barely concealed disgust. Mrs. Chen, you left your husband, who had just suffered a stroke, alone in the hospital to go on a luxury vacation. And now you want to claim you were the victim in this marriage? Catherine stammered something about non-refundable deposits. The deposits cost less than your husband's life should have been worth to you. Divorce granted, with prejudice. Mr. Chen's assets remain his own. Mrs. Chen will receive nothing beyond what she brought into the marriage and what she earned herself. Court dismissed. Catherine walked out with $300,000, the amount in her secret account, not the millions she'd been expecting. Jessica and Aaron's lawsuit against me went nowhere. I countersued for fraud regarding the loan. We settled out of court. They declared bankruptcy. Tyler disappeared for a while. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he was living with Catherine, working at a call center, slowly paying off his debts. And me? I sold 2 of the pharmacies, kept the Oakville location, the one I'd started with, but hired a manager to run it. I work 3 days a week now, only the hours I want. I bought a condo in Vancouver, smaller than the Oakville house, but it's mine, and mine alone. I've got a view of the mountains, a decent gym in the building, and neighbors who don't know my history. I started dating again. Nothing serious, just coffee dates, dinners, seeing movies. It's strange at 62, but also freeing. Women my age who have their own careers, their own interests, their own money. I met Linda at a pharmacy conference. She's a pharmacist too, owns a single location in Victoria. She's divorced, her kids are grown and self-sufficient. We talk about drug interactions and difficult patients and our retirement plans. Last month, she invited me sailing. I'd never been sailing before. It's relaxing, she said. Just you and the wind and the water. Very different from the pharmacy. It was relaxing. It was also terrifying and exhilarating, and I loved every minute of it. We're taking it slow. We're both cautious people, both burned before. But there's something there. Something genuine. Jessica had her baby in November. A girl. Catherine sent me photos with a note. Your granddaughter, Emma. She'll never know you. That hurt more than I expected. But I stayed strong. Then, last week, I got an email from Jessica herself. Dad, I'm sorry. I've had a lot of time to think. Becoming a mother made me realize how much you must have sacrificed for us, how much you gave us, and how terribly we treated you. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything except maybe, someday, a chance to apologize in person. Emma deserves to know her grandfather, the real you, not the ATM version we treated you as. I'm working now. Retail job. Nothing glamorous. Aaron and I are separated. I'm living with Mom, but I'm saving to get my own place. I understand if you don't want to respond. I just needed to tell you I'm sorry. Love, Jessica. I've read that email 20 times. I don't know if I'm ready to respond yet, but I've started a savings account. A trust fund, actually, for Emma. She'll get it when she turns 18, enough for university or a house down payment or whatever she needs. Not because Jessica asked, because Emma is innocent in all this. And maybe, just maybe, if Jessica is truly changing, Emma will grow up with a mother who values people over money. Or maybe I'm being foolish again. I don't know yet. But here's what I do know. What I learned from all of this. Love is not the same as provision. Being a good parent doesn't mean saying yes to everything. And family is not an obligation to fund other people's irresponsibility. For 40 years, I measured medications. I knew the right doses. But I forgot to apply that same precision to my relationships. I gave too much. I enabled too much. I confused support with love and generosity with parenting. The stroke didn't damage my brain. It cleared it. It showed me that when you remove the money, you see who remains. And in my case, no one remained. That was painful. It was devastating. It felt like dying. But I survived. I'm still here. And for the first time in decades, I'm living for myself. I'm a pharmacist. I know that medicine can heal, but the wrong dose can kill. I finally learned that lesson applies to love too. Give the right amount to the right people at the right time. And when something becomes toxic, no matter how much it hurts, you have to cut it off. That's not cruelty. That's survival. And I intend to survive, on my own terms, for whatever years I have left. If there's one thing I want others to learn from my story, it's this. Teach your children gratitude, not entitlement. Show them that love is measured in presence, not presence. And never, ever, let anyone treat you like an ATM with a heartbeat, because you deserve better. We all do. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away from people who only see your wallet when they look at you. I walked away. It nearly killed me. But staying would have destroyed me completely. I chose life. My life. And I've never looked back.
When our team read this story, the room went silent. Betrayal is common, but squeezing the life out of someone, using them until they are dry, and then throwing them away like trash, that takes a special kind of monster. This story was sent to us from a man in Chicago. Here are his words. I haven't taken a single day off in 7 years. I worked 14 hours a day. My hands were always covered in cuts. My clothes were always stained with grease. People called me a mechanic, but my wife called me her hero. Or at least that's what I thought. The day she finished her medical degree, I was the happiest man alive. I thought our hard times were finally over. I thought we were finally going to live. But that same evening, I heard her talking to her mother on the phone. She said, "Mom, I'm a doctor now. Why do I need to stay with that dirty mechanic? My status has changed. I'm going to divorce David. I'm just waiting for him to pay off the final installment of my student loans next week. Then I'll dump him." I stood behind the door. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just froze. In that moment, the David who loved her died right there, and all that was left was a man who wanted justice. My name is David, and I am 34 years old. I met Amanda in college. She was beautiful, smart, but incredibly poor. Her dream was to become a doctor. But in America, becoming a doctor costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. When we got married, I held her hands and made a promise. I said, "You focus on your studies, I will handle everything else." And I did. I dropped out of college. I took a job as a mechanic in a garage. Winter or summer, I was lying under cars on the cold concrete. Grease was permanently stuck under my fingernails. My back was in constant pain. I skipped lunch almost every day just to save a few extra dollars. I wore the same pair of shoes with holes in the soles for 5 years. Why? so Amanda's tuition could be paid, so Amanda could study in peace. Rent, electricity, her books, her food, I paid for everything. When she came home tired at night, I massaged her feet. I cooked her dinner. She used to say, "David, I would die without you. You are an angel." I lived on those words. I thought this was our war and we were fighting it together. I didn't know I was fighting alone and she was just using me as a ladder. For the last 6 months, she had been changing. It wasn't sudden. It was slow. When she started her residency at the hospital, her attitude shifted. When I went to pick her up, she would stop me outside. She would say, "Don't come inside, David. Your clothes are dirty. What will my colleagues think?" It hurt. But I told myself she was right. Then she stopped taking me to parties. "David, it will just be doctors there. You'll be bored," she would say, and leave alone. But that phone call opened my eyes. She didn't just plan to leave me. She planned to use me until the very last cent. Her plan was to wait until next week, when I was scheduled to pay off the final $40,000 of her loan, and then serve me divorce papers. That night, she lay in bed next to me. She held my hand and said, "Baby, you look so tired. Just a little more hard work and then we will enjoy life." Her voice had the same sweetness, the same fake love. If I hadn't heard that call, I would have died for her. But now, her touch felt like a snake bite. I wanted to push her away. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell her I knew everything. But I stayed silent because anger is for the weak. Strong men make plans. For the next 3 days, I said nothing. I went to work as usual. I made her breakfast as usual, but secretly I was meeting with a lawyer. I gathered all my bank statements. I collected every single receipt I had spent on her education. Amanda's graduation party was on Saturday night. She had invited all her doctor friends, her professors, and her family. It was the biggest day of her life. She was floating on air. I told her, "Amanda, I want to give you a surprise gift for your success." She jumped with joy. "What is it? Did you buy me that car?" I smiled and said, "Better. I will give it to you on stage in front of everyone." She arrived at the party. She was the center of attention. Everyone was congratulating her. Dr. Amanda, Dr. Amanda." I stood in a corner, in my old cheap suit. Her friends looked at me and whispered. I heard one doctor say, "Is that her husband? He looks like a janitor. What is Amanda doing with him?" Amanda went up to the stage. She grabbed the microphone. She thanked everyone, her parents. Her professors. She didn't even mention my name. Then she said, "Now my husband wants to give me a special surprise." Applause broke out. I walked up to the stage. I was holding a large, beautiful envelope. I took the microphone. The whole hall went silent. I said, "It took Amanda 7 years to become a doctor. In those 7 years, I worked 24,000 hours of overtime. I sold my house. I sold my dream bike, just so her fees could be paid." Amanda was smiling. She thought I was praising her. I continued. "But yesterday, I found out that after becoming a doctor instead of curing people, Amanda decided to treat me like a disease. So I have decided to grant her final wish." I opened the envelope. It didn't contain car keys. It contained papers. "Amanda, you wanted to divorce me as soon as your debt was paid. So here, these are the divorce papers. I have already signed them." A deadly silence fell over the hall. Amanda's smile vanished. But I wasn't finished. "And regarding your final student loan payment of $40,000, the one I was supposed to pay tomorrow, I didn't pay it. Instead, I kept that money for myself. I am leaving this city. You have your degree now. But you also have a $40,000 debt, and there is no mechanic here to pay it for you. You are free." I dropped the microphone, and I walked off the stage. Chaos broke out behind me. Amanda ran after me. "David, what are you doing? This is a joke, right? Please don't do this. People are watching." I stopped. I turned around and looked at her. There were tears in her eyes, but they weren't tears of love. They were tears of fear for her reputation. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You said my status wasn't on your level. You were right. I am a loyal man and you are a selfish woman. Our levels could never match." I walked out of the hall. I started my old car, and I didn't look back. It has been 3 months today. I heard from friends that her reputation was destroyed after that night. Her friends, who used to look down on me, now hate her for what she did to me. That loan is still hanging over her head, and the interest is growing. She is alone. Me, I used my savings to open a small workshop. I still lie under cars. My hands are still black with grease, but when I go home at night, I don't have the fear that the person sleeping next to me is going to stab me in the back. I sleep in peace, but sometimes, in the silence of the night, I remember her. The love for a cheater dies, but the habit of loving someone takes time to fade. I want to ask you all, did I do wrong by humiliating her at the party? Should I have just left quietly? Or did the woman who wasted 7 years of my life deserve exactly what she got? Let me know in the comments, because sometimes justice is very bitter. The next story is even more shocking. Subscribe so you don't miss the truth. Goodbye.